Even today, when people speak of those that are fast or having exceptional speed, you get comments like, oh, you mean like Steve Cannon. When I spoke to some of Steve's teammates, terms such as explosive, lightning fast, or so very quick were used. 35 years later, and Steve's name is still brought up by those who had the privilege to be on the same team coach or just watch this gifted athlete. Steve was a starter on a varsity football team as a sophomore. Sometimes a play in a game or a certain situation can come along that'll either push an athlete to a new level or discourage him to a point of quitting. The good ones, the resilient ones, the ones that can take a situation and make it work for them are so very special. It was during a varsity football game in Steve's sophomore year while he was running outside, and that was a sight that usually brought excitement to the crowd, when he tried to sidestep to miss a hit, but he really took the hit. The result was a broken jaw. It was a serious injury, and for the next few weeks, I remember this so well, Steve, you walk around with your mouth wired shut. The next year, Steve was playing again, and in the words of one of his coaches, Steve did not try to avoid hits anymore. Steve delivered the hits. Now, you not only have speed, but an attitude that would make opponents hope that Steve would run on the other side in which they were defending. It was during his junior year that Steve won all league honors as he led his team to the MOVC Team Championship. He received special awards sponsored by the Daily Telegram and WLEN. What a team this was, such as Mike Burgermeister, Bud Freeze, Dave Pagel, Jim Dementier, Mark Sutton, Jeff Peacock, and other just really gifted athletes. I think this article, just a little clip here, brings in what happened to Steve. It says, Cannon thrilled the hometown crowd with a 91 touch-yard run early in the first quarter. And this brings us to one of those what could have been moments. Because of some decisions dealing with things that were completely out of their control, Steve, along with 5 other excellent athletes, were not to play football his senior year. In basketball, his junior year, the team were MOVC champs again. What a team this was. They scored so effortlessly. In his senior year, another league championship in basketball. Myself, along with Coach Diver, we had the privilege of coaching these 2 exciting teams. These 2 teams averaged 70 points, almost 70 points a game. They were in the top 5 average in Blissfield history. Want to put fear in an opponent's eyes? Here's what you do. You put Mark Sutton on the ball and put Steve on one side and another quick guard on the other side, and then watch them run and run and run. As one coach said, Steve is just a major contributor on a very good team. But it's baseball that I'd like to stress this evening. Steve already has been to the Hall of Fame because he was on the 76 state championship team and 77 state championship teams. He started for 3.5 years. And you read some of the articles dealing with his teams, it's not uncommon to see something like this. Cannon had an excellent day for the Royals as he went to the plate 4 times, walked twice, singled, and hit a home run. He scored 3 times and drove in 4. He was my player of the game, Tullis said. It appears that he was many times in the midst of big innings. Steve was put on the first team All-League, first team All-County, and first team All-State. He was one of the most sought-after baseball players in the state. It's interesting that that year he started out 0 for 17, and then he hit for an average of .432 after that. In his senior year, he led the county in runs scored, stolen bases, and shared the lead in home runs. For his career, Steve had an on-base percentage of .538. It's interesting to note that Steve's defense attracted those in the college ranks. In his senior year alone, he flagged down 48 fly balls. In his career, he had 125 chances and committed just 5 errors. Steve went to Central Michigan, but then transferred to the University of Toledo. I mentioned some groups of athletes on the team in which Steve played. There were many. There were a ton of good athletes. The reason I bring this up is that even with this group, Steve earned the Burgermeister Outstanding Senior Athlete Award. As a high schooler, Steve always wanted to coach. So after college, he was the head baseball coach at Ida for 2 years. After working at Maxi Troll for 3 years, he landed a job at Knapp Motors and has been there ever since. Steve is married to Maria and has 2 sons. It's always fun to introduce to you and ask you to welcome these exceptional people to the Hall of Fame. But it is always very special when that player played for you. So it is with much satisfaction, and I must admit, just plain exciting for me, that I ask you to welcome our first inductee this evening, Mr. Steve King.
All right, Dad.
Welcome, everybody. Glad to see you could all make it. I'd like to let you know my mom's here and my wife Maria, my son Eric and his wife Jamie from Florida. Welcome. As I look around, I always realize that I played on some darn good teams back in the day. Some of the faces back there fortify that thought. We had some really good teams, and that's probably why I'm standing here right now. One thing that never went over well with me was my son Eric, sitting right there, never had a chance to play under Coach Thompson, and that always bothered me. What a shame. Thank you.